today is the beginning of week 1 in The Artist's Way. It's a book that I recently just got delivered, and I've been wanting to read it for a while. I found it on TikTok, even though people probably have recommended it to me before, but I just forget. So, this book is supposed to help you recover a sense of creativity and also help you, from what I've read, recover a sense of identity, feel empowered by your creativity and not shamed by being an artist, and several other stuff around that thing. Okay, I'm really bad at explaining this book. Okay, the point is, I ended up getting the book. I started reading it, and it recommended that you read it all the way through, and then after that you can actually start the weeks, or like, again, it's recommended. So I started doing that. I thought of it as week 0, and so I started recording it. I started reading it, talking about it. I even went on a whole rant. Yeah, I'll probably still put in the footage. I don't know, I just really needed this book, I feel like, because not only is it opening up myself to the fear of failing as an artist, of not being good enough, not being worthy of the money that I'm asking for, but also there's so many artists in the world, there's so many creative people, and I'm just a speck of dust sometimes, and it's this whole idea of like, fuck it, like, I feel like we give too much weight to being creative and sometimes not enough. In some instances, it almost feels contradictory the way they treat creative people, because they're like, oh my god, you're like a unicorn of how creative you are. It's like astonishing how you can just come up with all these ideas and everything, and like, people are always saying like, oh, I couldn't do that, or oh, I couldn't be as creative, but you can. That's the thing. Everybody, it's in our human nature. And it astounds me how we treat these artists, how we treat people literally as starving artists, as if their art, their creative process, the things that they create isn't worth enough. Because on one hand, we praise it. We're like, oh my god, I can't believe you're this creative. But on the other hand, we also don't appreciate it. If I want to do it, if I tell myself that I'm going to do it, I will do it. Even though I doubt myself, I will end up being able to finish this video. Why do I know this? Because I feel like it's gonna help me. Not only because it's gonna be a proof that I can do things and I can do long-term projects that won't bore me to hell, or even if they do, I'll still be able to do it and enjoy the process. But I started to feel extremely overwhelmed and underprepared, and also kind of losing motivation, because I felt like just reading it wasn't stimulating me enough and like keeping me intrigued, because it is really helpful. It's a really good book, but it also felt like, okay, I gotta really start this, I don't know if I'm explaining myself right, but the point is, it's a really good book, and I really want to put my all into it, or at least really like try and enjoy this experience. And the way that it will help me actually is just not reading it all the way through. That way I won't feel overwhelmed about everything that I would think I need to do completely. And also finding excuses not to do some of the tasks. So let's start. Okay? Week 1. Let's go. Yeah. After starting the day off right, flipping off the sun, I decided to take my dog out for a walk and start the day off strong, relaxing, just, going out for a walk, enjoying the day. My dog always gets really excited walking around, but he always gets even more excited pulling me back to the house because he remembers he's not a huge fan of walks. And Milo, as every good dog, needs to sniff every rock, every leaf that he might think has been marked and then mark it himself. Before the walk, I had started taking a few notes on the tasks that I would have to do throughout the week, just so that I can have a little checklist to mark off in case I missed anything. And as you can see, even though Milo finds this kind of boring, it helped me out a lot, and this book is actually way more interesting than I could have ever imagined. I sincerely recommend it. In one of the earlier days, what I would end up doing is get ready and go out for a walk, seeing how that day I wasn't feeling great. And even though I said I was going for a walk and I'm getting in a car, I'm going for a walk in a very cute and big park in my city that I love, and I hadn't visited since I was a kid. So as I walked over there, once I parked the car, it was amazing. I really should visit that park more often. This park also regularly plants new trees, which is why you can see a bunch of baby trees in the video. And most of the time they do this as kind of like you can buy your own tree. So after all of that walking, I finally found a nice little stump that wasn't in a very busy area, and I decided to start sketching. It was extremely calming. I just doodled some of the trees and ended up, I don't know, like watching the flowers and the leaves and grass on the floor and trying to think of what a character based on that would look like. It was honestly really, really fun.
Since I had gotten there rather late in the afternoon, I was only able to be there for about an hour and a half before the park started to close. And as I picked up my things, I just really enjoyed the walk back to the car, looking at all the trees, seeing if I could maybe spot a squirrel or two. The next morning, I started writing my morning pages, and even though I wasn't completely consistent, I did notice how much these morning pages helped get me into the right mindset to start the day off. That day, in the afternoon, I also decided to start doing some of the tasks that I needed to finish, like writing my champions and a bunch of affirmations, as well as the monsters and not so pleasant little memories. But it honestly helped me out a lot to figure out why I would be so hesitant at certain points, and it opened up my eyes a lot more to situations that I didn't really think affected my art, but ended up really making a number on me, kind of thing. As the week progressed, I started checking off whatever I had done that day. The last day, I ended up getting ready after writing my morning notes and heading off to my artist date. I ended up deciding to go shopping. And as you can see, I'm very, very shy when recording outdoors, to the point that I barely recorded. If I did record something, it was either my feet or I wasn't somewhere extremely public. I ended up getting a few hair items, some little gifts for my mom that I just thought she would like. And I actually ended up spending way more than I expected in the first shop, since you know how Sally Beauty can get sometimes. I'm actually wearing the eye patches that I got at Sally Beauty right now. I don't know if that's what you call them. And after Sally Beauty, I ended up wanting to get some clothes. I went to H&M, and to be honest, there wasn't a lot that caught my eye. I got 2 sweaters and 1 pants to try, or jeans, I don't know, they weren't jeans. Anyways, the point is, I didn't end up liking this green sweater, as you can see. On the other hand, I ended up loving this black sweater. Even though most of my outfits are 99% black, I loved it. I still think the black looks great on anything, and I wore it for most of the time that I've been editing, so It's really comfy. 10 out of 10 would recommend. The pants, on the other hand, didn't even fit me. So after, I wouldn't say I took that long on the date, but after the date was done, I started heading home. I was honestly really happy because I had gotten a few things that I had wanted to pick up for a while, and I also found my new favorite sweater. Seriously, it's very comfortable, and it's like the perfect size for me. The only thing that it's missing is pockets, but in those types of sweaters, you don't regularly see them with pockets. As I said before, the artist date was actually really nice, and I got to just be by myself and let my thoughts run wild. I get to go outside and enjoy the rain as well, because I mean, who doesn't love some rain? It's just really calming experience just in general. I can't wait for next week's date.
Hello. So, as you can already probably tell, it's raining here, so I can't really sit on the floor, but I'm sitting on a chair now, okay? Don't worry, I'll probably end up sitting on the floor in another video next week or something like that, who knows. But it is officially the end of the week, or like, because I started the last video on a Friday, so I mean, technically it's the last day that I can record this challenge before editing, but it has been really fun. I did get a little bit busy like the past 3 days, so as in I didn't like really take into account all the time that I needed, so I kind of just forgot to write all of my morning pages for like 3 days. But it's fine, okay, it's fine. The only thing that I didn't finish from the list of tasks of this week is writing a horror story from my Hall of Fame. Well, this week has been really nice. I did notice the difference that morning pages would do, or like would cause in my brain, because I felt a lot more calm, like as if I was actually ready to start the day. Sorry, the point is, yeah, it's been actually like really fun doing all of these little challenges. The day I took myself on a walk, I wasn't feeling that great, and I just went to like a really big park in my city, and it was honestly great. I just sat down, listened to ambient noise of the forest, kind of, because I mean, it was in the center of my city, but it isn't also like, it has enough trees for you to like kind of forget you're in a city. It was really nice. Yeah, I don't know, like everything felt good, you know? Like, I don't know how else to describe it, but I don't know, I felt more at peace. I was able to sketch a little bit more. Oh, I also didn't write the 5 lives. Wait, did I? Hold on a second. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did. Sorry that you're hearing all of the planes. But yeah, I did do the 5 lives. I didn't write a thank you letter, and I didn't write in the Monster Hall of Fame. For my 5 lives, I wrote singer, freelancer, potter. I don't know if that's the correct terminology, but somebody that does ceramics, sculptures, you know. Then writer and concept artist slash character designer. Those are, well, I'd say that freelancer and concept artist and character designer are my dream jobs, basically. I do still feel like if I had 5 other lives, they would still be very creative and have something to do with the arts, if it's writing, singing, creating paintings or stuff like that. So yeah, funnily enough, I got offered to go to a 6-month course in sculpting. We sculpt with what's it called in English? Fuck, what is it? Well, I don't know. Editing me is gonna put it here on the screen. Big letters, whatever, okay? But we're sculpting with that. And this week has mostly been just preparing the material, crushing it up, rehydrating it, and then flattening it out and kneading it. But next week is when shit's about to go down, basically. Like I'm actually gonna do a lot of stuff. If I was gonna share anything from this week that I wrote down, would be piece of encouragement. Somebody, in my life that has helped me or encouraged me in to follow art and be creative, which would be my mom. She's my number one fan. She's amazing. And I remember her vividly saying one day to me, like, I remember what exactly I gave her. I think it was like a box that I painted with like really cute bougainvilleas, but she said, there's nothing you can't do. I don't know, just really nice, because she always seems shocked at how creative I am. And I feel like this book has helped me not only appreciate my own art and my ability to be creative rather easily, and I don't know, to speak better of myself. It's just been like really nice, because I felt encouraged, not only by the people around me, because I had luckily a bunch of people around me that would help me feel empowered and like I could take art seriously, and I like it's something that not only do I enjoy but I do really well. But it's also helped me not be so much of like a stickler with my art or be so strict with it. I've also learned to actually say that I'm an artist and feel proud of it. Not like, oh, I don't want to sound snobby, or like people ask me like, oh, what do you paint? And then I show them and then they don't like it or whatever. No, I actually like felt proud of being an artist, which is something that I feel like deep down I've always felt proud of, but it wasn't as if, oh, I'm proud of this, not only because of everything I've done, but because I'm good enough, no matter what anybody thinks of my art, if they like it or not, like, who cares, And I don't know, I've just been really enjoying this book. In this book, I was also asked to write affirmations for myself, and even, like, for example, write down the doubts, or what do they call them in the book? Blips, or no, it wasn't that. Blurts, that's what they would call it. So basically, I would write down blurts that I would think of in the moment, thinking about my art or stuff like that, and then I would turn them into something positive. And to give you a few examples, one I wrote was, I can't sell my art because it's not up to par with others. And I turned this affirmation into I can sell my art because it's amazing and creative and it's mine. Which, I don't know, it's really sweet. I also wrote, I'm not a real artist, but I am. I am a real artist. Then I also wrote, I'm not good enough for people to like my art. But in reality, I'm good enough for people to love my art, to want to buy it, because people have bought my art. So it's also like this weird idea that even though it might be like decent art in my head, people aren't gonna want to buy decent art, or whatever. And it's like every artist always has their favorite paintings that they feel like, oh, I shouldn't have sold that one, it wasn't as good or whatever. But I mean, at the end of the day, it depends on who likes it and if they really appreciate it. And how can I expect other people to appreciate my art if I can't even appreciate it myself, I don't know. So this whole week I felt really appreciative of my art being able to be as creative as I am easily, because I also know a lot of people that are very talented around me that sometimes even tell me like, I just don't know how you get into that zone, into like you just freely switch between your logical brain and your artist brain. And honestly, I feel like it's also been because I grew up with a lot of encouraging people and very little monsters that would make me feel like my art wasn't enough. And yeah, like even my classmates, it's always been really nice, because I remember ever since I was a kid, whenever we had to do like a poster or decorate something, it would seem like out of a sitcom where like everybody would turn to look at me and be like, do you want to like be partners in this or something like that? Like, do you want to be in our group? Because like, I draw well, and like, I don't know, it was just always like really funny to me. But yeah, I don't know. It's been really nice. I still feel a little bit like nervous talking about like, yeah, I can draw well and everything, because I don't want to sound snobby. I also wrote down, for example, where I could go on my artist date. One was coffee near the park, see a movie, go to a library, paint at the park, buy art supplies, go to the mall. And for this artist date, for the artist date of the week, I decided to go shopping. It's really not common for me to go outside and go shopping, let alone alone, literally. Like, if I am going to buy something, it's like the same shirt because it's really comfy and I bought it like months ago, and so I went online and bought it. But like most of the time I don't go out shopping unless like I go out with my cousins, family, or like friends. But yeah, this time I decided to go shopping because I don't know, it was already like a rainy day and everything. I wanted to go outside. I hadn't done the date, and I just thought I'd treat myself, I guess. It was actually pretty fun just being alone. And sure, yeah, I recorded some of it, but I'm also very, very shy in public. So I kind of just didn't record that much. I recorded like when people wouldn't see me, I guess. Or I would just record my feet, like me walking, you know. I didn't have a lot of battery on my phone, but I did want to record a little bit. But most of the time, I was just in silence, just walking around. I don't know, it was like really peaceful. the few times I do go out by myself, it's mostly to go buy some supplies, some art stuff, or it's like I'm meeting up with somebody, but this time it was just like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna go shopping. I bought a really nice sweater. I should have put it on, honestly, because it's kind of cold. It's been a really nice week. I even got to fulfill one of the 5 lives things. As I said before, I got the opportunity to take a course in sculpting for 6 months, and starting this week I started going 3 days a week, and it's been really fun. So I did manage to get into like the potter thing. But I hope the next week is just as much fun or even more. My schedule is becoming increasingly more busy, so yeah, at some points you might just see me recording my morning notes or stuff like that, but I'll probably like catch you up on other things that I did throughout the week. And yeah, I'd say that's it for week 1. So I guess I'll see you next week, huh? Bye. Man, I'm hungry.